Yeah, hey guys, welcome back to the podcast Thunder.
Yeah, I'm
Uh,
Moha.
I'm Tom's as usual, and today we're actually changing places. As you can see, we're right in front of well, right next to the water.
Well,
And
yeah, I mean this is a good change of scenery, I would say, right?
yeah,
That's gonna be helping people to focus, probably.
yeah,
That's what we are aiming for.
yeah,
But
yeah,
in this podcast, we are aiming to dive deeper in the basics and life questions that like we might feel or we might ask usually of
yeah,
ourselves. And me and Tom's, we're gonna just explore it, talk about it, and say our opinions,
yeah.
our truths, and how we feel about it. Right?
Talk about our experiences
Exactly. Talk about the experiences and like
and
all the patterns that we see in ourselves.
yeah.
And we hope that this podcast would help anyone in the world
Yeah, yeah. If you, if you,
or
if you,
us.
yeah, if you're finding anything that like maybe resonates with you or sticks to you or whatever.
Yeah, if something like feels good with your heart or like keep it or like think about it, but if it doesn't, just move on.
Yeah,
It's nothing that like
yeah. We're just having a discussion
yeah,
about it.
it's nothing that like we want to force or anything.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
so today we're gonna talk about anxiety.
Ooh.
Let's talk about that. What do you think of it?
The first thing that came to my mind when you said anxiety was
The song?
anxiety, like the one that is trending right now.
Yeah.
Anxiety, na na na
Because
na na na.
I think this song is kind of resonates with the culture being in an anxious place,
Yeah.
an anxious stream.
Why?
Because
That's probably the reason why it's so fucking popular.
yeah,
Yeah.
is the did you have any like courses or any specific branch in your studies that they talked about anxiety and like what is the source of it or like um any points you can add to this?
Um. Well, we had like a course on health psychology and how, for example, anxiety can create a lot of different habits that you do in your everyday life that like makes like your health worse in some cases and what
To numb the anxiety, you mean?
yeah, like the coping mechanisms
The
that
coping, yeah,
that
of course.
people usually use, like smoking, listening to music, running around, also swimming. Well, there's a lot of things that you can like try to switch it for of the feeling that you feel when you have anxiety.
Hmm.
And yeah,
So
if
if
I should,
anxiety is kind of like makes it's the source of habit, you'd say?
uh, I wouldn't say it's a habit. I would say more it's like a feeling that you have that like you're not sure about something, but at the same time you're sure about it. But like the anxiety part comes in at the moment when you're like want to check if you're really sure about that thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know what I mean, but like
I know what you mean. I think it's kind of like common in general for everybody like in the world. Like if you have an anxiety and if you being sensitive about it, you can see like why the anxious feeling arises. But
yeah,
what did I
completely.
mean by like saying the habits and stuff like that? But I meant that anxiety, when anxiety arises,
Yeah,
habits also start because, like for example, you start making the process of numbing and like
yeah.
try to create a safe or comfortable environment to not get to the anxiety. I would
Mhm.
say,
Yeah.
and therefore like you actually it's contradictory because when you run away from anxiety or like try to push it away, it usually like attacks you more and
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
becomes it becomes more stronger and like more controlling over you.
Yeah. Even if you like at the moment you think that you're like got away from it, it bites you in the ass even harder after like you kind of forget about it and then it like comes right back
Mm.
and you're like, oh shit, I just feel the same fucking feeling that I felt like, I don't know, 3 days ago about a certain thing,
Hmm.
for example. And yeah, it's
But what is the source?
the
What is
source.
the I mean, behind all these feelings
Yeah.
that we have, I feel like there either is a thought, or there is a habit, or there is this process that goes on that it would end up in this feeling, right?
Uh, yeah, yeah.
Do you have any idea, or like do you have any
The process of
knowledge about, like, yeah, like what is the process of like getting anxious, for example? Like
um,
what kind of process or processes would start the anxiety, for example?
I would say it works really, really, really well with procrastination, for example,
Yeah. Mm.
which is just having like one, two, three, four, or five things that you have to do at the same time,
Mm.
and you're like, I don't know with what like should I start,
Mm-hmm.
and what do I mean by that is like, I think it's that like you don't have a concrete game plan for everything in your life, which is normal, which is completely normal, and it's really hard to like plan out every single aspect of your life, and from that like comes the anxiety, and because you're thinking of doing a certain thing in the future, which creates this time limit in your head that, oh shit, I have to do it, I have to do it, I have to do it. But then when you're but then in reality you just don't do it. You just like anxiously think
Mm-hmm.
about doing it, but you actually not doing it at all. You just
Mm-hmm.
like staying in this, I don't know even how to
It's
call
kind of like a zone.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
It's like a cloud that it just grabs your attention
yeah.
completely,
And then
and
you're like, yeah,
you cannot really function either, because it might. I mean, it could cripple you, but
Uh,
there are anxieties that could probably like not cripple you, or like be helpful in some ways, I would say.
yeah, 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 obviously. But the one thing that I will say is that the thing about anxiety is that like the things that you think about tend to add up, which creates like every time when you think about like doing something, but but you don't do it, but just like thinking about it, eventually you're gonna start thinking about the next thing, because people usually like try to get out of the anxiety by doing something else, and by proving to them, well, it was actually from my own experience. I was at some point I was just like switching up the tasks of for example, okay, I have to do this thing, and then I like kind of like can't really do it because like something is stopping me, and then to not feel the anxiety with it, I I went to the next thing, and it's a
It's a
continuous
cycle. Yeah,
cycle,
yeah.
and yeah, that's
It's kind of. I think anxiety is a right signal for movement, but we make it to anxiety. We make it to the feeling that it will cripple us.
mhm,
Actually, uh, I feel that when the anxiety arises, like in my experience, when the anxiety arises,
yeah,
I don't really tend to either exacerbate the anxiety by like running away from it.
yeah,
Like that's my solution to my anxiety, but like
mhm,
it's probably different for everybody else. And
yeah,
also, uh, I'm not trying to act on the anxiety. Do you see what I mean? Like for example, I don't really tend to. I don't think it's a ever a good idea to act on an anxiety,
yeah,
because for example, an anxious action usually ends up in a unrational, uh, compulsive behavior,
yeah,
I would say,
yeah,
because it's out of fear,
yeah,
or it's out of anxiety,
yeah,
which we call anxiety. I think it's kind of like related to the fear at the same
mhm,
time.
yeah, but
And
yeah,
tell me,
but not to react to like not to do something while you're having this anxiety. That is also a practice that you have
that
to
is key.
practice. Yeah,
That is actually key.
like it's not that simple of like, because
No.
if we're taking like a stressful situation and you're like feeling stressed, and you think that you have to do this one certain thing and then you don't do it, uh, it's really hard to like pull out of the perspective of the moment and see that like, oh shit, I can actually maybe calm myself down, look it over from another perspective, and then like get into it and then actually do it like calmly.
Or maybe you don't have to do it, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah,
usually an anxious thought, it's not something that you need to act upon or not act upon.
yeah,
An anxious thought, I would say, like an anxious feeling comes from inside. It's it's a bodily, or like it's instinctive reaction, or not a reaction. How would you say it? What is anxiety? Is it a reaction?
uh,
How would you call it?
I don't know if it's
It just
reaction.
arises, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
how does it arise? That's the question. Is it
Yeah,
the thought that arises the anxiety? Because for example, imagine you create a scenario, like,
yeah,
oh, for example, I need to, I don't know, I need to do my homeworks.
yeah.
Simple. I need to do my homeworks because tomorrow is a day that like I need to give it to my teacher. For
Like
example.
submit the
Submit
homework.
it,
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
And then like this thought itself, there's no anxiety in it.
No,
But
no.
like, when does the anxiety comes from? Like, where does the anxiety comes from?
Maybe when there's the time limit to it added, because it creates like a a place where you kind of have to like submit it in time. You can like give it all the time in the world for it, and then just like well, yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's I think it's the time limit that you have for a certain thing that you have to do, because usually in our everyday lives we're on the clock. You have to do it, by the end of the day, for example, or
Mm.
by the end of the week, or
Mm.
you know.
But like, this is kind of control, like, not control. Like, yeah, I would say it's manageable when you know, for example, when you're aware of
Yeah.
this thought that arises, like, oh, for example, I have to do my homeworks tomorrow,
Mhm.
and then if the next thought arises that like, oh shit, for example, um, I was late. What if it's not good? What if my teacher is like, oh, your homework is not perfect because
Yeah.
everybody else is perfect?
Yeah, yeah,
Or
yeah.
what if like I wouldn't be perfect? You know, all this comparison and all this like, oh, what if, what if, what if?
You said it. Comparison as well. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
it's. I mean, yeah, of course, anxiety is like probably like gets all this energy and like all this like ignites from all this comparison and like I don't know, like predictions or like what ifs, you
Mhm.
know, and all
Yeah,
this
yeah,
like
yeah.
just boosted. But at the same time, I would say if you're aware of it, it wouldn't be too hard to not keep it in the thought itself. Like, oh, I have to do my homework tomorrow.
Yeah.
But the problem of anxiety is not the thought itself. It's like if you're aware of it. Because if you're aware of it, again, this would happen. But what if you're not aware of it? And the anxiety arises, but you don't really know where does it arise.
Yeah, and well, there is a possibility that you don't even recognize it. Like, for example, I think everybody has experienced this moment in their life when they're like all of a sudden like all like
Anxious.
jittery and
Yeah.
stressed about something, but like, and then you're like, oh yeah, I didn't know what like came over me, right?
Mm.
I didn't understand why I was like so
Tense.
yeah at that moment, and it's I think it's really important to like try to like kind of rediscover your own self, because a lot of people don't do that. Like
What do you think? Like, what do you have to do when you are anxious and your body is like forcefully trying to push you to do something, or like, oh, run away from it, or like, oh, numb it, or I don't know, do something to get away from this?
Yeah.
What would you do in that situation?
I would say physical exercise works really well. At least for me, it had worked. But also, I remember that we had this discussion about like also the anxiety a while back, and you said it to me that like try to sit with it,
Yeah.
try to just like feel everything that like comes at that moment into your body, and all the thoughts in your head that are like running around at that moment, and actually try that. And I think it's also like a practice as well that you can like try and make into the reality of yourself, because if you don't like actually it take well I guess what I'm trying to say is like it takes a lot of courage as well to recognize like, oh shit,
It does.
you know.
It does.
Yeah,
Actually, it's all about courage.
yeah, it
It's
takes
all about courage. Like,
yeah,
if you want to realize why the anxiety is there,
yeah,
uh, it takes so much energy and courage to just sit with it
yeah, yeah,
and see where does it come from.
yeah,
Because
yeah,
it's quite funny. I have realized this thing like quite recently,
yeah,
that when you sit with an anxiety, you kind of there are type of anxieties that you can recognize.
yeah,
There are type of energies, I would say. Anxiety is just a name for it. It
yeah,
doesn't mean anything.
yeah,
But there are type of energies that it comes out of this like word itself, right?
yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah,
like there is this one that pushes you to do something irrationally,
mm-hmm,
or like out of fear,
yeah,
out of a place that is not honest, you know?
yeah,
Like you are doing it out of fear, out of
yeah.
being scared of something,
Would
right?
you say like it can like attach, or it usually attaches to an emotion?
Anxiety
Yeah, like the
it's
energy attaches to emotion. For example, fear or anger or even happiness,
yeah.
and
So
then
like it's
creates a
exactly that. Like,
yeah,
you know, when um emotions have energy,
yeah,
all the emotions are
completely, yeah,
energies, right?
yeah,
But we name it.
yeah. To try to categorize it and
We,
try
we,
to
we
see,
we try
yeah,
to categorize it.
yeah,
If we just stop and don't categorize them,
yeah,
don't try to run away from them,
yeah,
don't try to make an idea of why am I anxious.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
for
yeah.
example, oh, you're anxious, but like, oh, you start, when you're anxious, you start thinking of why are you
Of the
anxious.
solution, yeah,
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 of
yeah,
the
yeah,
solutions.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah,
oh,
yeah,
for example, and then you give answer to yourself,
yeah, and
and
then you're just
usually those answers are not the
yeah,
answers.
and the anxiety isn't going away at
The
that point.
anxiety doesn't go away that way.
You're just like, oh, I found my answer, but I'm feeling even more
Yeah,
stressed now.
yeah,
But
because that's not an answer.
yeah, yeah,
Anxiety and these feelings, all these energies are just feelable. Like, you need to. It's kind of quite probably stupid word to
Y-
say, but like, you need to feel it.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah,
you need to absolutely feel it
yeah,
without trying to figuring it out.
yeah,
You know,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
trying to name it. You
And
know.
and I think it's the best approach to do it,
Yeah.
because, like I said earlier, running works well as well. But running and like doing a physical exercise, it's only a temporary solution.
It is.
And
It
that's
is.
what I realized as well. That like I was before I was like, when I was feeling kind of stressed, I went to the gym, or I went for a walk, and yeah, it helped me for like
Quite a
15
bit.
minutes,
Yeah.
right? But then it like right at the moment when I came back home, it was back like that.
Mm.
And then what you do with it? You eat ice cream,
Yeah.
fucking drink
Yeah.
cold water. What the fuck are you like? It's
Ice
it's a
cream,
stressful situation.
try
Yeah.
Netflix for
yeah, yeah,
I don't know, 100 times.
yeah, 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 yeah.
There are
It's
so many.
crazy.
There's so many like running away solutions. That
Yeah,
we can
yeah,
do.
yeah,
And
yeah,
we all have been through it.
yeah.
We all have been through it, but it doesn't work.
No, not at all.
It
It
creates
works for a
cycle.
small
Yeah,
fucking moment.
it's just for a small moment. It's just satisfactory
Yeah,
for a second,
yeah,
and that's it.
yeah,
All this like um temporarily like solutions.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
good. I'm not saying it's bad,
yeah.
right? Because, for example, sometimes it's too unbearable, you know,
To sit with it.
to sit
Yeah,
with it.
obviously. Yeah, yeah,
And then
yeah.
like you are telling yourself like, oh, I cannot do it right now.
Mm.
Like,
Yeah,
you don't have the energy and power to do it.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know? And you cannot really when you also like force yourself to figure it out.
You're
it's
not
quite
gonna.
it's quite
Yeah.
destructive.
Yeah, yeah.
know?
Because you're gonna look at the answer at all the wrong places at that time.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
So what's best is that if it's too unbearable, you you indulge with the activities that are sane in your opinion.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
know, it's
Completely.
like it's healthy to your opinion.
Yeah.
You go for a walk, for example. You go
Yeah.
for a run, for example.
Yeah.
Like you watch a series, for example.
Yeah.
That's fine. You
Even
know.
like throwing rocks at,
Yeah,
in the water.
it's just
It's
okay.
yeah.
These are methods
Yeah.
to calm it down a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, you can meditation is a method.
Yeah.
You know,
Screaming is in the pillow also is a method.
hitting the wall is a
Yeah.
method. You know,
No, but yeah, yeah, yeah.
hitting someone in the street. No, I'm kidding. But
But go
go
going on a
hit
kill
someone in the
streak is
street.
also a method.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
No,
But
no, no. We're kidding. We're kidding. Yeah.
I think the best thing, like the actual solution, is like just sit with it
Yeah.
and feel this like whatever energy or anxiety that you feel in the stomach or whatever, like wherever you feel
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
Just sit with it and feel it.
Yeah.
Don't try to condemn it. Like,
Yeah.
oh, why the fuck am I anxious?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Or
Just
like, why is this happening to me? For example.
but you know, it's also important to know that like at this moment when you're like feeling the real pain or like physical pain into your body because of the anxiety or some other things, right? It's really difficult to just let it stay there
Yeah.
because you want to
Yeah.
like rip it out.
I know.
You want to like take it out as like soon as possible.
It's what you said.
Yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
courage.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It takes a
It
lot
takes-
of courage
yeah.
and energy.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of courage, but that's the way.
It is. It is completely.
That is
Because
the only way.
otherwise, you're gonna continue the same cycle
It's
over
go-
and
it's
over
gonna,
again.
It's gonna go on the cycle. It's gonna repeat the
Yeah.
pattern over and over.
And I also think if you're like sitting with it and you're just like actually trying to maybe just feel everything that you're feeling, it's probably gonna create also some level of resilience over it
Mm-hmm.
because you're gonna experience. Imagine you're experiencing one time. You're just like, okay, this was shit. I felt awful. But then when the second time comes, you're like, okay, maybe I can like try it again. And and it's kind of a, well, in some ways it can be like a fucked up kind of habit to do, to just sit with your emotions. But the more you do it, the more you understand, the more you become aware of it, the more you can like tell to yourself, okay, it's gonna, I'm feeling shitty right now, I'm feeling this pain or whatever right now, but it's gonna go away eventually. It's not gonna stay there for like like forever,
For a long,
right?
no, it doesn't. It doesn't actually last that
Yeah,
long.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
It doesn't. If you stay with it for 5, 10 minutes, 15 minutes,
Yeah.
something like that.
yeah.
If you're able to stay with it, because it's so hard.
It's difficult.
To do it.
It's difficult.
You know
Either-
why it's
yeah.
also hard? Because we have access to
all these distractions that
all
you
the
can have.
all
Yeah,
these distractions.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
hard
yeah.
to get away from this. You're like, oh fuck, I feel anxious.
Yeah.
Let's get away from it. I mean, all these phones, all these movies, all this,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
this
yeah.
and that. Oh, what are these for then?
Yeah.
They try to like numb me.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, 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 yeah.
They are
You said
try
numb.
to numb
Yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah,
Of
yeah.
course, they are there to not like that's the human-made something
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
to make
Completely.
you forget.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's crazy.
Imagine like feeling scared or anxious about something and just like, okay, I'm gonna just
Go watch a scary
watch.
movie.
Where's my Netflix, man? Please, please, popcorn Netflix, and I'm gonna just jump into this movie and forget all about it. And then at the end of the movie, you're like, oh, it came back. you know?
It's ridiculous, kind of.
Yeah. It's also probably one of the reasons why a lot of people nowadays are just like, I was listening to a podcast where like the people who were on this podcast were talking about the thing about headphones. Why our society and why even in the gym, for example, it used to be, it used to be like without headphones, like more social event,
Yeah.
like more social place to be, and like you can actually like ask some questions to like more, stronger
Buffy
bodybuilders,
guys.
and like ask them actually like more maybe for advice or whatever, right?
Mm.
Or even like communicate with the opposite genders, like
Yeah.
flirt or whatever,
Yeah.
right? But right now
Nothing
everybody's
happens.
like with the headphones on,
Nothing happens.
and in their own like little like closed up
Yeah.
world, and just I don't yeah it's
Bro, I think that
well, music also like partially. Sorry, I interrupted you, but like music, like listening to music also like partially numbs you as well, because you
it does.
don't deal with the problem that's in your head,
It
like
does.
the
It
thoughts.
quiets your mind a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
It
yeah,
does.
yeah.
But
So
I don't really know where are we going, honestly. Cause
um,
I see this like whole situation that we are in.
yeah,
Like I see like I see it in my family itself.
yeah, me,
I
well,
see
yeah,
in people around me,
yeah, yeah,
like this phone situation, like this
yeah.
social media situation that like people are like they don't talk
No,
together
not at
anymore.
all. Yeah,
It's hard to talk to people. It's
yeah,
hard to talk to anyone.
yeah, yeah.
Like
It,
all the conversations, even if even if it happens, that's very rare.
yeah,
All of it is so superficial and so like empty,
yeah,
and for some reason that like I don't know why are this like
yeah.
goes
Where
on.
is this happening? Yeah, yeah. But I think at the beginning, when like the era of the smartphones started slowly like rising, everybody thought that's gonna bring a problem to the level of intelligence for people, for example. But it's also like if we connect all the dots to the problem of intelligence, we can also like create another way to see that like it creates a lot of mental problems as well. You see my point?
Mm, like, can you elaborate a little bit more?
For example, at first everybody was like, "Oh yeah, there's gonna be an era of smartphones where the more time children's gonna like pass on their screens, the more they're gonna become antisocial," which is fucked up because social media was created to be more social, but at the end of it, you're
That is
becoming
the irony
less
of
and
it.
less and less social in the real world interactions.
That is the irony of it.
Yeah, and I think the COVID time also helped us a lot in
It
like
did.
to increase the problem in that
It did.
space as well.
It definitely did.
And yeah, and
Cause
then
you see that our our world has just become more and more anxious,
yeah,
and then I, like I mean, sorry.
that's alright.
Um, I say this because it happens around me and
Yeah,
inside me, and I don't think I'm that different
yeah.
from other people.
No, me neither, man. I think we both like had this experience that like we're trying to limit ourselves to the usage of like social media.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
It does help.
yeah, it does help.
It does
Completely
help a
help.
lot,
Yeah.
and you kind of realize why social media is a source of anxiety for
Yeah,
people.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because now I think about it. Now I think about it. Anxiety is a form of emotion
Yeah.
that it's created by the mind when you are in a place
Yeah.
that you don't want to be, or like
Yeah.
you say that
As
you don't
well.
want to be.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you are this or you are that,
Yeah.
and then like you want to be something else.
Yeah.
You're looking for something else. You're looking for something better all the
Yeah.
time, and
Yeah.
it makes you anxious because you are helpless. It's like, oh, for example, I want to be more successful, but the world is just, you know, getting more competitive. And
Yeah.
like,
Completely.
if you want to be more successful, you have to be more competitive. You have to fight with more
Obviously.
people.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then if you know this, you become anxious because you're like, oh, I cannot do anything about it, because
It makes
like
me it makes me anxious.
It
And I
does.
feel this
It
like
does
stressful
makes
emotion about it.
exactly.
Yeah,
It does makes you anxious because you're not successful, as in your opinion.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Because that's just like a, I don't know, idea to be
yeah,
successful.
yeah, yeah,
You're not successful in your idea based on your social media,
yeah,
and
yeah,
then you want to be successful, but this path of being successful could, for example, hurt you in so many ways.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well,
And
yeah,
then like you become anxious. You're like, oh fuck, what am I supposed to do?
yeah. Like at the same time, you want to be successful, but you don't want to get hurt. I
Exactly,
think it's, but yeah, yeah, yeah.
exactly.
It's
But
crazy.
it's just
Yeah,
you come to this point that um, you need to redefine and redescribe all the matters that you have explained to yourself.
yeah. Well,
Like,
at
what is
at one point, yeah,
success? I don't
yeah,
know. What is success? What is desire? What is like, um, what is a right relationship? We talked
yeah,
about this.
yeah,
What is a right relationship with people?
yeah.
You
And
know?
I also think with all this anxiety and all this comparison, for example, that we can see in social media, you're kind of losing your own identity, which is, I think, at least at this time, like in our society, it's really difficult to like maintain your own identity because you see so much examples around you
Yeah.
on how to be. For example, let's take the example of successful,
How to
right?
be perfect.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Be a top G,
Yeah.
part of the 1%.
Yeah.
You have so much like different kinds of things that you can like try to associate yourself with, but that's like
It's
I
not
think
life. It's not life
it's not
itself.
life, yeah. And then you, in order to like become something that you're not, you're losing all the like individual and authentic selves about yourself.
Exactly. You lose yourself very
Yeah,
easily.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Very, very
yeah.
easily. And
That's
because our mind and our consciousness are not really made for this environment,
yeah,
and it's been changing rapidly.
yeah,
Like our environment
crazy,
has been
yeah,
like changing crazy,
yeah.
like drastically.
It is, it is.
And
That's
it's getting kind of worse. We become violent because of
yeah,
anxiety.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Seriously, anxiety is a really important thing to talk about.
It's yeah, yeah,
I think there should be more talks. There should be more um, investigation
on the
on
topic of the
anxiety
yeah,
itself.
yeah.
Because like, and the only way is like discovering yourself. And because
It is.
when you discover yourself
Yeah.
enough, like you go deeper and deeper in yourself,
Yeah,
and when you discover, for example, oh, what is anxiety? What kind of form is this? Like,
yeah.
what kind of energy is this?
What specific type of anxiety is that I have?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
but that also, but like
Yeah.
also when you realize the anxiety, definition of anxiety, and like how it works in the
Yeah,
mind,
yeah,
you can see like it works like that for other people as well.
yeah,
And then when you become aware of this, it will create a Doppler effect, you know, like this movement
one
of
thing
like,
after the
yeah,
other.
like
Yeah,
it just,
yeah,
it
yeah,
just
yeah,
hits.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
it's like you know it, somebody else would know it. It's not
Yeah,
when your consciousness change.
yeah,
It's not only your consciousness will change. It will change the whole consciousness of the society.
yeah,
I mean, by society, I mean the whole world,
yeah,
the common consciousness.
yeah.
You know, and that's really important. For example,
It is.
like
It is.
I was saying, I forgot to say it, but like I said, like quite recently, I realized that I feel like two type of anxiety,
Yeah.
and it's both are confusing. I
Mhm.
didn't know that before.
Mhm.
I was like, I feel anxious, and I couldn't really redefine like which one is which. Like I felt different in each category of the
Yeah.
anxiety,
Yeah.
and I was like, I don't really know.
Yeah.
Then when you sit with it, you realize that there are anxieties
Mhm.
that it pushes you to your patterns.
Yeah.
Pushes you to your habits,
Yeah.
because those are the comfortable ones. And when you get uncomfortable, you
Yeah.
become anxious.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Because
I
you're
know
like,
it. Yeah.
oh, I don't know where am I going.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
unpredictable.
Yeah.
That's one anxiety.
Yeah.
And there's another anxiety, which is really funny, that there is an anxiety that when you are in that comfortable situation,
And you're thinking of fuck, I should do something.
and you should do something.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah.
like, that anxiety is also there. You're like, oh, you are sitting, for example, gaming,
Yeah, and
doing
just like,
something
oh,
meaningless,
yeah,
right?
and then
And then like the anxiety comes in, and when you don't name it, you don't try to point out, oh, this is because of this. No,
yeah, yeah,
you
yeah,
just sit with it, and you're like, oh, fuck, I'm wasting my time.
yeah, yeah.
And then you get anxious because
It
of that,
is.
because you're like, look, for example, me as Moha sitting in my home gaming, I
Yeah,
have a fucking sea next to me.
yeah,
I have a fucking nice environment next to
yeah,
me, and
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
gaming.
Game. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
What kind of life is this?
No,
You know?
yeah.
And then you question,
Mm.
not by the comparison, because, oh, for example, somebody else is like going to the nature. No, not
Y-
because you see it, but
yeah,
because your body needs it. Your body like requires attention and care, and you can give that attention and care by going outside. Going outside by me,
yeah.
I mean, go to the nature.
Whatever. Yeah, completely. Yeah.
Because in the cities that we live, in environments that we live, it's absolutely like so like, packed, and so like violence
In
soundly,
some way.
like
Yeah, 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 yeah,
everything's
yeah.
too much. Sometimes you just go to the sea, for example, and like start like looking at the sea for,
Counting rocks,
yeah,
man.
counting
Whatever. Yeah,
rocks,
yeah,
do
yeah.
something.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
And then
yeah.
when you do that, you feel fucking amazing. You feel fulfilled. You
Yeah.
feel you feel deeply fulfilled.
Even if it's like a simple action,
It is.
even looking at the waves, for example. Peaceful, man. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, if we like continue talking about this, I recently felt the first type that you just defined of the anxiety, because I was working like actually today as well. I kind of felt it because I think my anxiety comes from the place where when you're like doing certain things, but you can't finish them because some of the work hard depends on someone else. I think that creates anxiety in me because I know that like I've done my part,
Mm,
but the other person hasn't done their part yet.
mm.
So I'm like kind of like stuck in this, in this
You don't
place
know
where
what's gonna happen, or
yeah,
like this
uh,
unsettling situation, uncertain situation.
yeah, yeah. Like I don't know if I like can move forward with this, or I can like send this email that I prepared like forward, or I just have to like correct it or whatever, and that
Yeah.
that creates an
We need
anxiety
to
for
we
me.
need to deeply talk about this human instinct
Yeah,
to finish stuff, to be certain about stuff.
yeah. That
And all we do, all the stuff that we do around here, we build houses, we make cars, we make this, we make that, we
yeah,
create, all this is for security. Security of being certain
yeah.
that like tomorrow
Kind of.
somebody's not gonna attack me, for example.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I
You
see
know?
what you're. Yeah, I
Do,
see
do you
your
see what I
point.
mean?
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
we need to talk about this deeply, like about the security itself.
Yeah,
That we try to be secure,
yeah,
and it's funny, by trying to be secure, we become more insecure.
yeah. Kind of. Yeah. We're building walls around ourselves, but at the
Exactly.
same time, we're like, oh no, but like now I can't go out of this wall because
Exactly.
I'm in the shell,
Exactly.
right?
We
Yeah, yeah,
distance, we distance ourselves
yeah,
with people by social media. For example, 20 years ago, 15 years
yeah,
ago,
yeah.
you couldn't order food from online. Like you
Yeah,
could call, of
yeah,
course, but that would also be the interaction.
yeah, 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 yeah,
You'll be like,
yeah.
oh, hello, for example, oh, I want two
Uh,
pizzas. Like,
one chicken and no, but
that,
yeah,
that,
yeah, yeah,
that
yeah,
was
yeah.
that was the, of course, that was also like distant interaction, but like
Yeah, but
at least an
at least
interaction.
yeah,
Now, like, you go on an
real
app.
time interaction, right?
Yeah,
Well, yeah,
kinda,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
kinda.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Something goes on,
yeah,
right? But right now, the only interaction you have is with your phone. You go on your phone, you choose something,
yeah.
you
Just
order it.
like
You can also
yeah,
choose that, like, oh, leave it at the door. I don't want to meet you.
Deliveroo. Yeah, yeah. I'm just gonna take this sandwich and yeah, leave it at the door. The door code is
I
no,
don't want to see your
no.
face.
The house code is 400012. And yeah, I will not give you a tip because I paid with my credit card. Yeah,
It's
that's
crazy.
yeah, it is. It is.
It's crazy. And then
Yeah.
we think this is gonna make make ourselves. This is gonna make us secure,
Yeah.
but we're just becoming more insecure and more insecure.
Yeah, yeah,
We buy more stuff we don't need. We make more stuff that we think that this our security, but it's not.
yeah.
Actually, we need to talk about this like probably the next episode.
Next episode, yeah,
What do you think? Is it a good time to wrap
yeah.
up?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think
Oh.
it was a
It
good
was
episode,
it
right?
was a good episode.
Yeah. And
Our
fruit of the episode today is gonna be mango.
it's my favorite fruits, guys. And
Yeah.
Tom made the effort to buy
Yeah,
mango.
actually, I will share this like funny story about it. I went to Carrefour to like buy a mango, and I looked it over at first, and I was like, "Oh man, this is a really like amazing looking mango, you know, with the white thingy around it." And I went to the cashier, and then just oh thanks, I went to the cashier, and you know wanted to pay for it, and she was like, "Oh yeah, it's gonna be €7 and 90 cents," and I was like, "What the fuck?" It was the
is it a gold?
Yeah. I was like, what is it made of? Is it made of gold? And then I switched it up for even better mango.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Well, wait.
cheers, man.
Sorry, I started soon.
That's
because
alright.
I love it.
They're really good.
I
They're
love
really
it, I
good.
love it.
Cheers, man.
Cheers. Well, thank you guys.
Thank you
And
for being with us, listening to us, and we're
See you soon.
see you in the next episode.
Cheers. Bye.
Ciao.